Thank you, Noé. I will make a couple of points with my GlocalNet hat on. And GlocalNet sees itself as among other things, as a broker, a bridge builder between academics and policymakers and academics and the corporate community. And I myself find myself relatively well placed to play that role, because I'm a part-time academic. I'm a chairman of a private company with a public mission, and I've been a long-term policymaker at the Dutch central bank. So I'm a bit of everything and nothing of all in the end. And that's the ideal position to act as a broker and to try to build bridges. I like to make I will make three quick observations. The things that I learned from today and also from my past experience partly. First of all, I find it very encouraging to see that a number of policy institutions indeed are opening up. I can refer to the NAAC initiative, which is a clear sign of that. I found the introduction by both the Secretary General and Gabriela Ramos also encouraging in that respect. So that's the OECD. Then we had the European Commission opening up in several respects. I heard it was a little bit more, let's say, hidden, as it were, Philip Hartman from the ECB, who more or less said, I'm a fan of agent-based modeling. I'd like to have a dialogue between, let's say, people working in the area of dynamic stochastic equilibrium models and people working in the agent-based modeling tradition, trying to see whether there is some convergence possible or not, but we will see that. Of course, in this last session, the Bundesbank added to the voices, trying to open up to the academic world. And the Bank of England not being present physically these 2 days. How is it even possible to have something about complexity without the Bank of England? But Doyne managed to bring them also in the picture. So there is opening up. So what can complexity academics, I used to talk about academics rather than scientists, complexity academics offer? So first of all, and that came clear for me, came clear out again these 2 days, that there is not just one simple answer, one approach that complexity academics, complexity economics have to offer. It's not just one thing. And I said, it's again for me, because a couple of months ago I was in Singapore when we started the meetings with the ambition to define the complexity lens, the complexity lens. And we ended up with the conclusion that there was not just one lens. There were more lenses, more ways of looking at things, and depended on what type of issues you wanted to be discussed. And I think these 2 days there were at least three things that complexity academics may be able to offer. First of all, there was a lot of talk about a frame, a narrative. So that's one possible thing. Then there were a lot of tools and methods discussed: agent-based modeling, scenario analysis, dynamic system analysis, and there are many more. And thirdly, there was the possibility and the exciting further work that has to be done on a theory, a real theory of complex systems, where perhaps there are already elements, but I think it's absolutely also true that there's much more work to do there, and which may even lead in the end to a different policy conception. But what Doyne a little bit hinted at when he said, well, sometimes perhaps we can help you to ask different questions, and perhaps even also to do different things in the end. So that's a second observation. I think there are things on offer. Then the third and final observation is on next steps. And there I want to respond to your more or less direct question, Noé, as a policy maker, somebody involved in policy making. And I recognize the question, because in many policy institutions, there is, of course, always the pressure that you want to have the answers on your pressing questions of the day, and better yesterday than tomorrow. So there is a temptation to really ask, in this case, complexity academics, to give you the answers to the questions that are pressing at the moment. And I do believe that there are some of those questions that where indeed there is complexity academics can add to that. But at the same time, I would urge you almost not to be too impatient, and not just let's say going for the short-term answers. What you I think have to do, and what I hope that is indeed follow-up from this meeting is, and there I really build on what Doyne has said. Basically, to do two things, if I may put it rather generally. The first one is to start, or start is not the right word, but to build on a dialogue and have a more regular interaction. And you can do that, you can institutionalize it in a way, you can have all kinds of forms. I don't go into that, but to invite the outside world, in this case the academic complexity world, into your organizations. That's the first step. The second step is to embed them in your organization, really have them inside your organization, and not to replace, let's say, the current staff and the current academics, but to have them in. And you can do that temporarily with shorter-term visits, but you can also start, let's say, to have a unit working on these issues. Because my experience is that then indeed what you will see that starts is that you then have an institutionalized dialogue where the academics start to understand what your questions are, and start to reflect on how they can, from their perspective, help you to solve those questions, and the other way around. So let me conclude by saying that I found it two fascinating days. There was too little time to discuss the many things that we wanted to discuss. I was happy to see that today there was already time to start some dialogue, but there's much more. So I hope this is, I'm sure that this is the end of the conference, but I hope it is not the end of, let's say, the interaction. It's rather the start of it. So thank you very much.